If you were to walk by me in the middle school that I work at, these kind of shirts are typical of what I wear every day. I have a lot of Under Armour or Nike golf shirts. They're what I'm most comfortable in, looking somewhat professional while at the same time being pretty relaxed, and they're cool to walk around in, especially when it gets hot in school during the spring and the late spring, leading into the summer vacation period. But the truth is that I wear these golf shirts, but I really don't have a lot of golf experience. And what little golf experience, real world golf experience that I have is pretty bad. I've never been to an 18-hole golf course either as a spectator or as a participant, and that's probably to everyone's benefit. I've been to a handful of pitch and putt courses where I've done okay, but I still really can't keep score because it's way too high. And I've been to driving ranges a few times, and my big problem is that I try and power the ball. When I drive, I don't really have much finesse. It's more like just a power swing that makes absolutely no sense. So the ball either hooks or slices, and more often than not, I don't even hit the ball. I wind up running the club just across the top of the ball because I don't reach down enough with my swing. It is all over the place. I make Charles Barkley look like Tiger freaking Woods. That is how bad a golfer I am. But I've always had an interest in golf games dating all the way back to the Super Nintendo Entertainment System back in fall of 1991. A friend of mine had a game just after launch called Hal's Hole-in-One Golf, a game that I would eventually get for myself and really enjoy. It's a game that has only one course. There are the options for either regular golf clubs or metal golf clubs if you put a particular code in or win the tournament that's being held. And it is a fun play. The music is nice and laid back while it has a little bit of energy to it. The basic 3-click, that's what I like to call it when you have to hit the button 3 times in order to get a golf swing to happen. The 3-click swing, once to start the swing meter, another to set the speed, and a last time to set the accuracy. Getting the accuracy is a little bit difficult, and when you were putting, it was difficult to read the grid of the green to be able to determine how much break the ball would have. And back in 1991, I didn't understand how any of that stuff worked. All I knew is that I was trying to put the ball in the hole, and it really just didn't work very well. But that was the beginning. The more I played, the better I got. While I never got great and was only to score a couple or a few under par and certainly never won the tournament on my own, it was still a lot of fun to play. Then came PGA Tour Golf for the Super Nintendo not too long after that. That was published by Electronic Arts back when they were doing the EASN, or Electronic Arts Sports Network thing, which was basically an ESPN ripoff. And I played that quite a bit. I loved the fact that it utilized the Mode 7 technology with the Super Nintendo where you had some scaling and rotation going on. So I played that quite a bit. And from there on, my interest in golf just got bigger. Unfortunately, a couple of years after the Super Nintendo came out, the phone company I was working for, AT&T at the time, they were going through some layoffs. I got laid off from my job. Wound up moving back in with my dad's mom, my paternal grandmother, and my interest in golf went up a little bit more because we would watch the final round of a lot of golf tournaments on Sundays. That was kind of like the thing that we did together. And it was around that time as well that I started to become interested in a game called PGA Tour Golf 2 for the Genesis, a game that we will actually be featuring on this show very soon. In fact, there is a brand new sealed copy of PGA Tour Golf 2 on its way from Canada, so I'm really looking forward to opening that up. That'll probably be happening sometime in June. So I played that quite a bit and tried to emulate what I was seeing on weekends. Watching sports on TV always gave me that urge, that jolt to want to go and play the equivalent sports video game right afterwards. And because I have no athletic ability, sports video games are the only way that I can ever be any good at any sports. Let's just be honest. I'm heavier set. I'm close to 50 years old. I'm short. I'm not very strong. So for me to be good at golf or baseball or football or any of those sports, I need a video game in order to be able to insert myself. And to be honest, it's been that way through my entire life. That's why I love sports video games so much. After the Genesis would come the PlayStation, and my first golf game for the PlayStation was PGA Tour 96, which I really did enjoy. I played that with a coworker. We played it at his house. I would bring the game over to play on his PlayStation. He would play for hours, even though there were only a handful of courses. But what I have to show you today are 3 golf games for the PlayStation that are pretty early in the PlayStation's lifespan, 1996, 1997, 98, right around there. This is before Hot Shots Golf. This was in relatively the same time as the PGA Tour games were starting to get better, from PGA Tour 96 to 97 to 98, where those were getting a little bit better and a little bit more presentation heavy. I've played one of these games. The other two games I have not played before, so we'll be going over them together. But when we get to the game that I have played, I'll certainly talk about that with a bit more experience. That's why I'm calling this video 3 Under Par, because we have 3 golf games to get to, and we're going to get to them all in this episode of Unsealed. The first of the golf games I have to show you goes all the way back to 1996. And I believe this is early 96. This here is the final round from Konami, and oh, look at that Konami logo. Remember when the Konami logo used to look like that? That was back when Konami was really, really good, before they kind of went down the toilet. Anyway, this is the final round under Konami's XXL Sports Series logo, which was also the mini-series or the offshoot of the company that brought us games like NBA In the Zone, Goalstorm, and International Track and Field. As you can see here, and I know it's kind of tough with the screen here, you get a few of the screenshots, and it definitely looks like an early PlayStation game. A lot of blocky visuals, a lot of polygons, but that's about all you can see. And we have a little bit of a teaser description here, which we'll get to. In fact, and I'll put on my golfer voice, grab your clubs and hit the 3D rendered links for stroke play, match play, or a skins game. The fluid motion-captured animation lends a realistic feel to your swing. In fact, we've given you everything a golf game needs, except the tacky clothes. I take offense to that. I love my golf shirts, but that's neither here nor there. The game features 6 unique texture-mapped golfers. Texture mapping was a big thing in the 3D era. Multiple camera views. That sounds cool. Play-by-play announcer. I dig that as someone who's really big on sports game presentation. Practice mode, something that Clint from Lazy Game Reviews would have a kick out of. Easy to play arcade-style interface. That's a big one for golf games because they tend to be so deep. If you don't have that arcade-style interface for new players to kind of get into or allow them to ease into it, some golf games can be just too much for people to handle. And 360-degree movement. So let's go ahead and open this up. This is now the 4th take on this video because I didn't have my scissors available and I couldn't get the games open. But this time I will not be foiled. We are going to open this up. And there we go. So we'll get that open. You can also hear the crinkling. And we got to remove the bottom there. And yes, this does have the final round ID sticker at the top, which we will take off, and then we're going to take a look at what's in the package. Now, I believe the final round was also released long box, and what would happen is these games would be re-released after games went to the jewel case format like this. So I'm assuming that the disc art may look a little bit different, but I'm not sure. When we open this up, interesting. There's something else in here. When we open this up, we do have a disc that looks kind of like a golf ball, but it's silver and green. Of course, it's got to be green because it's golf, right? So silver and green, and you can see like the dimple marks of the golf ball. We also have an addendum here, which is interesting. Contact information, consumer support, Konami game hint and tip line. Remember those? Call 1-900 numbers and run your phone bill right through the roof. 95 cent per minute charge, $1.25 per minute support from a game counselor. Touch-tone phone required. Minors must have parental permission before dialing. Oh, this is a really late re-release. This is talking about Contra Legacy of War and the fact that 3D glasses are no longer available. So this is definitely a re-release. This isn't original. Okay. Let's take the manual out of here. And the first thing I want to draw your attention to is this right here. This is the Konami XXL Sports Series at the time. So we had International Track and Field, Goalstorm, NBA In the Zone, and Major League Baseball, bottom of the 9th. And that was MLBPA, by the way. So these were the games as well as the final round here. Serious sports, it says, but at the same time, these games were very accessible for players of all kinds. The manual is in black and white, which is not surprising. And, of course, we got a golf ball here. I can't see. There we go. Golf ball here on the front. This still shows the original PlayStation controller because we didn't have a DualShock back in 1996. So the intro here says, welcome and thank you for purchasing the Final Round Golf. Before playing the game, please take the time to read the instruction manual. Remember when instruction manuals were a thing? Don't even have to read those now. It will help you enjoy the exciting world of the final round even more. We sincerely thank you for purchasing our product and hope you will have fun playing it. So from the main menu, we have stroke play, match play, skins match, training, and loading data. So this looks like it's very, very basic. It doesn't look like there's much of a career mode here at all. Which is okay. Again, this is very early in the PlayStation's lifespan. You can play up to 4 players. Does this say that it used the multi-tap? I'm not sure. You might be able to pass controllers around. It really doesn't say. So this looks interesting, and I'll kind of show you a little bit more of the manual, but there's not a lot to see, again, with it being black and white here. It talks about how the lie can be affected, talk about impact position and power. There's the swing meter down there. You can see it. It looks like that semicircle or arch that's kind of tilted on its side. And that's how a lot of golf games worked, whether you had the meter that was straight across the bottom or whether you had that semicircle. So there, and it shows you all the different lies, the different conditions from being in the bunker to being in the fairway. Let's see. Really, it doesn't look like there's a lot here. There's a nice picture of golfers right here. Boy, I'd love to be doing that if it wasn't for the fact that I suck. There's a training mode here. There are some options, including difficulty, replay, easy shot. When on, the club automatically hits the center of the ball. So that's kind of nice. Game in progress options. So this looks like it's very bare bones, and that's completely understandable. Again, with this being so early in the PlayStation's lifespan, really more of the game was centered around just emulating golf and having the graphics look decent for the time. And with this being an arcade game, it's also not surprising that there's not a lot of depth to it. The depth comes in how accessible the game is, how easy it is to pick up and play. So that is a look at the final round. I have not played this. This will be my first time when I do boot it up, whenever that is, because I have so many games that I have opened, I have not been able to get to them all, not even during the lockdown here. Okay, let's go to the next game. In this game, I do have some familiarity with because I did buy it when it was new. And to find this particular copy of the game the way that it is really kind of excited me a little bit because it still has the price tag on it. And when you see how much was being charged for it and the fact that I only paid $10 for it like this, it makes me feel pretty darn good, especially since it's a sealed game from 1996. This here is VR Golf 97 from Interplay or from VR Sports. And yes, you can see the Circuit City price tag of $52.99 on there. Yikes. And that's a little bit more than games cost back then. I really don't know why this was $52.99. Maybe it's from Canada. I don't know. I can't really tell. You also, I don't know if you can see, there's a free option there, which is no longer free. You get a copy of VR Soccer 96 when you purchase this game. So that's kind of cool. That's the second straight episode where we've had some kind of mail-in offer for either free or lower-priced games. So that's certainly interesting. So here is the back of the case, and certainly more colorful. Visually, it looks better than I think the final round did, and there are a bunch of features here that you can look at. So, VR Golf 97. It's just a game, like the green jacket is just a sports coat. So we're getting to the Masters without actually having the Masters in a game, and that's coming much later. Say hello to the next generation of golf. We're talking real-time 3D virtual field vision, trademark, that lets you play and view any lie on the course from any perspective instantly. It's interactive technology that doesn't just look better, it plays better. Plus, the fast course setup between shots means there's no waiting on this course. So gauge your distance, select your club, pick your direction, and park a 300-yard drive down the middle of the fairway. Remember when 300-yard drives were pretty darn impressive? Not so much anymore. Play amateur and professional tours or play up to 3 of your friends at the same time. VR Golf 97, the difference is real. And it has a laundry list of features here. Virtual field vision, fast course setup between shots, interactive motion capture, realistic 3D polygon figures and courses, easy play format with on-screen interface for fades, draws, and other vital shot tactics, amateur and professional tours, fully customized golfers, customized club selections, save load game option, multiplayer options, shot tracking, instant replay from 15 different angles, mulligans, and 3 live commentary options from Pat O'Brien and Peter Alice. And that's one of the cool things about this is that there are multiple commentary tracks. You could have the US track, you could have the UK track, you could mix and match, so you could have both commentators talking about your game. I always thought that was pretty interesting. Again, I'm a bit of a stickler when it comes to sports game presentation, and this game certainly does a good job with that. This does have multi-tap compatibility, so you can play up to 4 players with this, so you can foursome them together and hit the course. I like this game. I'm not great at it. It uses the same kind of 3-click swing system with a different kind of meter, and we'll see that in the instruction manual. But I like the layout. I like the presentation. The challenge is up there. It takes a little bit of practice, as any golf game would. And it's a fun play, even for a game that is now 24 years old. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this open so we can take a look at the instruction manual. And this will replace the copy that I have now, which I got used because I got rid of my original copy years and years ago. And I'm looking forward to playing this as well, especially since this is as close to golf as I'm going to get anytime soon. So we'll take that off of there. This also has the VR Golf sticker at the top. All right. So this will get us to 2 under par. And again, this is a game that I have the most experience with. I remember playing this in the late 90s, and I didn't play it as much as the PGA Tour golf games because I liked having the PGA Tour licensing. But nevertheless, I enjoyed playing this game a lot because of the presentation. When we open up the case, I want to be careful that nothing falls out. And there's nothing to fall out because there's nothing else in there. I'll turn this around. We do have another CD that has the dimples. I don't know if you can really see it, but it looks like a golf ball, VR Golf 97 in red. And we do have an instruction manual here that is trying to get us to buy VR Soccer 96, a game that we could get for free if we did the mail-in deal. So are you ready for more VR Soccer 96? I believe VR Soccer 96 was a long box game, if I remember right. The manual is in black and white, as you would expect. Talks about the setup. There we go. Also shows you a cool little picture of the PlayStation as well. Swing, hit ball, cancel arc views, move camera up, move camera down. So there's a lot of camera options and a lot of customization that you can have to get just the right view for your shot, which is pretty cool. Now, the introduction here says VR Golf 97 is a 3D simulation that captures the essence of the historic game of golf. It provides satisfaction to the player when things are going well and recreates the frustration when things aren't going so well. Together, these elements mirror the emotional roller coaster of the real game. Boy, that sounds almost too serious, doesn't it? VR Golf 97 presents you with multiple playing styles from the standard stroke play to the high-stakes skins game. The most innovative feature of VR Golf 97 is the numerous camera angles that the 3D environment allows. This manual will provide a basic explanation of the camera possibilities, but VR Golf invites you to experiment with the viewing freedom that these angles enable until deciding on the view that works best for you during gameplay. The thing about this game that I remember the most is the fact that for the amateur tour, as you kind of work your way through both your amateur to your pro career, the amateur tour works with handicaps. And if you're not sure what handicaps are, basically they give you a certain number of shots to start. If you start off, I think you start at like minus 26 or something like that, which sounds like it's almost too easy. But every time that you're over par, and believe me, the first few rounds that you play, you're going to be over par quite a bit. That tends to temper the bad scores. You can still wind up with like a 8-9 under par, even if you really struggle in real time on the course, which I find to be really, really cool. So the game does promise practice mode, stroke play, match play, skins. We talked about that. Foursome, 4-ball. This is a 4-player game with teams of 2 in which all players hit their own ball throughout the round. The team with the player who has scored the lowest on a given hole wins that hole. So that's interesting. The Amateur Tour and the Pro Tour. The Amateur Tour consists of up to 4 human players, while the computer players round out the field of 32 golfers competing on 2 courses. That's all this game does offer, by the way, are 2 courses. A tour event consists of 16 pairings of golfers, twosomes, who play one round of 18 holes. The winner will be the one who scores the lowest, taking handicap into consideration. No gimmies, no mulligans in this mode. The updated rankings and handicaps are displayed at the end of each competition. The tour objective is to achieve a 0 handicap. When you've achieved that handicap at 0, you're then eligible for the Pro Tour. So there is some progression in this game, which is pretty nice. Even though there are only 2 courses, these courses continue to keep you coming back as you improve, which I think is pretty neat. So that's a look here at VR Golf 97. There would be a sequel to this, kind of, sort of, called Fox Sports Golf 99, and that is basically the same game with the Fox Sports branding and a few differences in terms of commentary. Is that game better than this one? It's really hard to say unless you're a really big Fox Sports guy and you want to have that branding there. But honestly, this is the better way to go if you can find it. And there are still some copies of this available on eBay if you are interested. Okay. So time for the grand finale here. We are 2 under par. We are ready to go 3 under par here. We are on the 18th hole. We are on the putting green, and reading that green, we see something we have never seen before, and this is true. I know nothing about this game. I have had this for a while, and I've been meaning to open it and play it. I don't know how good it is. I don't know anything, so we're going to find out about it together. This is World Cup Golf Professional Edition. This guy right here, and there is someone hitting it out of a sand trap, and that might be foreshadowing. This is a game that was published by Eidos Interactive, and I believe this is 1998. So there is the back, and of course the back of the case is green. You do see some screens there, and the visuals do look a bit better than VR Golf 97 in the final round. The golfer looks much more realistic. There isn't as much in terms of polygons here. Looks more digitized, but we'll find out as we read the back of the case. Tee off to breathtaking realism. Welcome to World Golf Professional Edition, the most advanced and realistic golf game you can play without the green fees. That kind of scares me a little bit because I'm not very good, but we'll see here. Detailed full motion video graphics, so that talks to or alludes to the digitized graphics I was mentioning. New and easy to use swing interface, we'll see about that. Aerial flybys of each tee shot, full control of your stance, swing, power, and backspin, so that's going to be more for the advanced golf set. Team competition option with a choice of 32 two-player teams. CD quality music and digitized speech of the player, caddy, and commentator. I wonder if the player gets to swear. 3 play modes: practice, normal, and tournament. Practice mode makes sense. Normal is playing the course solo or in competition with 15 types of golf play, including skins, Texas Scramble. I haven't heard of that one. And match play. And then tournament, create your own tournament against other players or computer opponents. Artificial intelligence as the computer-controlled opponents react to your every shot. So we're going to open this up, and we're going to find out about this guy together, because, again, I have no clue. I have been sitting on this for far too long. I even forgot I had it before getting ready for this episode. So let's see if we can open this. I am too far invested now. I cannot back out of it like I did on other takes, so this has to open right here. All right, there we go. So we'll run that across the side. There we go. And we'll see if we can kind of slide the top off here. There we go. And we do also have the World Cup Golf ID sticker up top there. So we'll take this off and we'll see what we have on the inside. This is a lot of golf, and we're not done. We have more golf episodes lined up soon, including one for the start of the PGA Tour season, which is supposed to happen in a few weeks. And then if the Masters happens later in the fall, which they're saying it's going to, I have a special surprise for you then. So when we open this up, wow, that's kind of boring. We have a rather flat, oh, geez, look out. We have a rather flat, not even green, it's like brown World Cup Golf Professional Edition. Very serious looking. And to add insult to injury, we also have a manual on the back here that has no advertising whatsoever. Ooh, boy, we'll see. So we have the setup, and again, we're still using the regular controller here. We're not using the DualShock at this point. Starting World Cup Golf. It's very important to press the open button to open the CD tray, place the World Cup CD in the tray, and close the CD tray, just in case you didn't know how to play a PlayStation game. Then you have to turn the power switch on. I'm not kidding. That's what this says. Turn the power switch on. The power light should come on. After a few seconds, the PlayStation logo should appear on screen. They took an entire page to tell you how to start the game. World Cup Golf allows you to save tournaments and player statistics to a memory card. If you do not have a memory card installed, you will be unable to save data, although you will still be able to play the game normally. That's very important to note because today, if you don't have enough storage space on your PlayStation 4 or your Xbox One, you can't even install a game, so you have to delete stuff to make room. But you can't play it all otherwise. At least with this game, if you didn't have a memory card, it was okay. You just played for one session and that was it. So there's not really a lot going on here. This seems painfully ordinary, as you can see by the screenshot there. Let me see if it talks about some of the play modes here. The quick start option is here. That makes sense. I do think the visuals look okay. I think that looks better than we've seen, although maybe not better than the PGA Tour golf games. We still have that semicircle of a swing meter, which, again, not surprising. Oh, my goodness. This is all one long... Ugh. Press button X to begin your backswing. The golf ball icon starts moving clockwise around the meter. Yes, this is basically the same. There are some variables such as how your ball is lined up, whether it is sloped up or sloped down to the left or to the right. That's another thing that I learned by playing video games. Depending on how your golf ball is laying will depend on its path in the air. You can change your stance. You can add backspin, which is a big deal. So how about the gameplay mode? The players, no gameplay mode. Come on, guys. Options, you can control the wind, the ground condition. What about the gameplay mode? Practice facilities. World Cup Golf supplies comprehensive practice facilities to help you fine-tune your game. Practice options include a driving range, an option to chip a selected hole, and an option to play a selected hole. Okay, this is good. The World Cup of Golf Tournament. Okay, here we go. The 1994 World Cup of Golf Tournament will be contested by 32 two-man teams over 4 days at Hyatt Dorado Beach. Each team plays one round per day, and their scores are totaled cumulatively. The team with the lowest score at the end of the 4 days wins. There is also an individual trophy for the player with the lowest individual score. All players competing in the World Cup of Golf Tournament play as professionals, which means you don't get to play on any easier settings. This is basically your test of skill. That's interesting, I guess. Other tournaments, yeah, this is. I know it's a golf game, so I shouldn't be expecting the moon here. But this looks, although it looks good, everything else just seems very average and not very exciting. These are the kind of games that appeals to strict golfers themselves, people who are on the course pretty regularly or maybe who do it very often, and certainly not something that's going to be fairly accessible to people like me who could not hit a golf ball to save his life. And even then, I'd probably be in trouble. So that is a look at the 3 golf games. World Cup Golf, which I'm not really all that excited about anymore. VR Golf 97, which I think is the best of the bunch. It is certainly the game that I have the most experience with, and I'm looking forward to giving that another go soon. And the final round from Konami. Again, oh, that Konami logo. How we miss thee. We will be doing more golf games again as we progress through the year here on Unsealed, capped off hopefully by Tiger Woods PGA Tour Golf 12, the Masters, which we're hopefully going to do if the Masters takes place in November. That game on eBay goes for over $80 now, so opening that may be a little bit painful, but I'm looking forward to doing that. In the meantime, I thank you for taking the time to watch this episode, this rather supersized episode of Unsealed. I really do appreciate it. Until the next time comes, my friends, take care of yourselves and each other, especially during this crisis, and we will see you later.